So welcome to the Node API team meeting for October 1st, 2021. We'll follow our standard approach of looking at what is tagged for milestone 11. Before we do that, does anybody have anything they'd like, any announcements they'd like to share? If not, I'm going to go to the milestone and then share it. Okay. This is the right one. Okay, so first one on this is ask for review node serial port. I don't know if there's any updates on that.
I took a look at the work. It seems good, and now they are working on some tests for worker threads because they have some issues about the execution of the CR port on worker threads that in the previous release give some errors, and I want to help in to make this add-on context aware, and I think that this is the step that they are working on now.
Okay, that's great.
If you follow the paragraphs, the last thing is this about the execution on worker threads.
Okay, well, thanks for helping out with that. I'm sure they really appreciate it. So that's great. The next issue is any stale issues that we had noticed. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Getting clear. So this one I think is the one we've been discussing and working on for quite a bit.
I think that we have a paragraph. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. So yeah, I think that's this one, right?
I think that I added only 2 comments about documentation.
Okay, yeah, I'll make a change too.
So
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's only
right instead of 3.
Yeah, instead of 3 backtick. If it's one line, use 1 backtick instead of 3. Yeah, it's you can address this and yeah, it's good for me.
Okay, excellent. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and the same for the iterator, the object iterator.
This one.
Yeah, it's good, but if you see at the documentation, there is only there are only 2 examples. So it's maybe we want to document the API that has been added, no?
Right. Yeah, well, definitely we want everything that's to be documented properly. So it's missing the documentation on some of the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we have only examples of how you can use the object, in for example for expression, for but yeah, maybe it's good to have the API exposed by the iterator.
Right.
So yeah, you can use it. How it's possible to obtain the iterator and use it. So this was my.
Right. Okay. Right.
Michael, I think Legenicus is here.
Oh, thank you. Where now I gotta find participants. There we go. Oh yeah, and Gabriel too, so thanks. Just promoting people, okay. Hopefully, I think everybody's promoted. Welcome, Gabriel and Zhenzong. Okay, so on this one, Nick, you've commented to suggest adding some extra documentation, which sounds good.
Yeah, this is only my what I need to approve, and yeah, the same for the other paragraphs. But yeah,
Okay.
maybe if we don't receive any answer, we can approve, and then I can add this documentation in other paragraphs. It's okay for me.
Okay, I think we'd wait. Like, let's wait a week to see if Raisin 10 does that. I won't be surprised if he does, but let's just give him a bit of time. And yeah, I think if that doesn't happen, then probably what you suggest is a good idea.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for going through those two. So we talked about that one, which we're making good progress. In fact, I think this one we could probably just remove off the list, right?
Yeah.
Because we pretty much have a
we
have the PR
addressed it. Yeah.
This one, I think we just talked about as well, right? So yeah, okay, so you've looked through that and we're making progress, so nothing really else, already talked about that. And then this one. Right, this one I know, Jack, you took a look at it and it sounds like it does give us a little bit more info, but we're still getting an error, right?
Yeah, now it crashed at like set property instead of just nappy really was throw or crib reference before. Now, yeah.
Right, now set property kind of makes sense. Like that must be, and that's inside of our API, right? That the set throw is taking place. Sorry, the set property.
I think so. Yeah.
Because I guess if we're throwing something which is not an object and we try and set a property on it, that's not going to work.
Right.
So we fixed it so you can throw things that aren't, like, we don't generate an error earlier on when it's not an object, but then later on we're running into a case where, oh, it's not actually an object. So we'd have to figure out like, it's basically like when we're trying to create a function. So it's in this function reference, or is it in the code that's taking place? Get new foo.
The second screenshot is actually invalid because I think it's just a property, not the entire, like, it's not a function. It's just a property.
Okay, so this one you think, or?
No, the second, like the one where I just ran as a node script, that one's like technically that technically worked, but it does like the code will crash if you run in like repo.
Right, this one right here, you mean?
Yeah, this one works. Like,
oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, sorry, I didn't mean to quite do that. But I guess it's like, yeah, we need to figure out what property are we trying to set. And why, yeah. Okay, so this is the latest one, right? So okay, yeah. So if we looked at this. Right, so I guess need to look at a little bit more to understand like who and what is actually trying to set that property. And, you know, whether it's related to an exception or not. And like, okay, so here we're creating a new error, right? So is that in fatal error? Actually, let's take a look in fatal error and see if it's, I don't know if this is what code will have changed, but node.js/node. Well, actually, wait a second. Sorry. This one. So we're still getting a fatal error in error itself.
Yep.
So actually, but that would be the question is like, okay, why are we creating with your change? Why do we get a fatal error here? Fatal error, happy set property. Sure, I'm still. Okay, so we're running this one. I guess we'd have to look at what your code looks like because it's this code. Can you share your code instead?
Sure.
Or maybe in the PR, it's in the PR, isn't it? Maybe.
Yeah, it's in the PR.
Okay, so let's take, I can share that again. So if we look at the PR.
1075.
This one. Oops. Just here, no, here, right?
I believe this is actually unwrapping, I think. I think you have to go up a bit. Yeah, this
okay.
is
Right, okay. So this create reference would give us an error in theory.
Yeah.
It's not equal to, okay, so let me say it right. Because it would seem to say like one of these set properties are failing.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make a lot of sense, right?
Right, because we create an object successfully.
Of course, we don't check the status here. Oh no, we got the failed if failed, right? So okay,
yeah.
So we should get past that because it doesn't tell us create.
Yeah.
It's basically saying this is failing to
set.
One of these two. Maybe it would be good if you could like put in some printfs or whatever and see which of these two is failing.
Okay, yeah.
Because it really doesn't make a ton of sense to me why, like just in, looking at it here, I can't see why one of those set properties should fail, but there must be something we're not doing quite right.
Yeah. Okay, I'll check.
Okay, sounds good. Right, okay, so we've talked about all these potentially stale ones, tracking issues for things that have been ported. I think, Nick, you pasted there's a few new ones.
Yeah, it's binding written with C# for Node API. Essentially, you could implement native add-on for Node.js using C#. So yeah, we have now a few of these kind of bindings. Rust, C#, and yeah, NIM, but yeah, Swift, yeah, there are some interesting projects that and most of them are in early stage status. So now, yeah, you could use, but yeah, it's I think that they are experiments, for now. But yeah, there are other projects like Navi-RS or Neon that yeah uses Rust, and that yeah you could use in production for me. So yeah, it's good to see developers that are wrapping Node API to use to create native add-on with their preferred programming language. So it's the potential of Node API that is exported like C API from the core. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that it's enabled like integrations with other languages more easily. So that's quite a neat thing.
Yeah, yeah, it's a very simple. The simplicity depends a lot of the FFAI that you have. Yeah, from the programming language that you choose. But yeah, for example, based on my experience, in Rust it's simple because you have some tools like Bingen or that yeah do all the work for you. So you give the header files of Node API, and this tool provides the raw binding, and you could use that binding to create your API in Rust. For example, in Go, you can do these yeah using it's FFI, but it's more complicated based on my experience. Yeah, it depends, but essentially if you in a primary language, if you have a support yeah, to import C code, you can create a wrapper for a binding for Node API. So some languages don't have tools for doing this. You need to write more code, but this is the only differences that I found between the programming languages that I studied. I tested on doing this.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. That's neat. Enable testing for debug. Still, I haven't had cycles to look at that. Creating matrix of tested methods. Jack, what do you? Is there something we should talk about this week?
Nothing really update, but I just updated that PR for function references. Like I updated it to the current May, and I think
right. Sorry, let me just find. Okay, I got to go to the right place here. Pull requests. That's which one? Just this one, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you've updated. Like there was this comment from Kevin.
Oh yeah, I removed it. I think it's outdated.
Okay, let's see. Why doesn't it show as outdated? Sometimes it's just luck. New return, new promise. Okay, anyway, if you've updated it, we can go back and I'll look at trying to land that this afternoon.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, okay, so that's what you wanted to bring up on that front. Let me get back to the, oops. In terms, and right, Deepak said he couldn't make it. So in terms of the test side of things, test infra, we won't necessarily have an update. Then it's really just down to looking at if there's any other new issues that we should look at in terms of, you know, anything that we haven't talked about. This one, I don't think we're using Travis at all anymore, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so that one I'll go ahead and land. This one I just need to take a look at. I don't think I see anything else new there in terms of issues. This one is fairly new. I guess we just haven't had a time to look at it, so nobody's, I don't know if anybody has looked or it has any comments. Otherwise, we'll just leave that as a to-do. And node issues, labels, maybe this will, I guess. Okay, so I don't see anything recent on that front either. So is there anything else that people think we should sort of talk about this week? If not, we can close out. Thanks for everybody's time, and we'll see you in GitHub and next time.
Okay, bye.
Thanks, bye.
Bye. Bye.
See everybody later. Bye.